Alright, so I haven't been back in quite a while, and I ended up trying to get back into Guild Wars, and I've been having kind of a rough couple months. But I came in, I've been messing with builds, I've been talking to people on Reddit, they've been talking trash, no big deal. But I'll tell you that I accidentally made the craziest build I think I've made good like beefy builds in the past, like ones that mainly like Condi focused or kind of Condi hybrid like power and Condi and a lot of HP and a lot of armor that could take a lot of damage and you could face tank a lot of stuff, you know, but now I, I made something that I can't even explain. Okay. So this started off with I have a warrior. I have a lot of warriors. I test warrior stuff all the time. And I have one that I built that's the power, precision, toughness, and it has concentration, right? And I use him because he's a good solid damage dealer, and he's had the Heart of Thorns expansions and stuff done. So he's a spellbreaker, and I use him to do 100% protection. So he's a full power precision warrior with a little bit of ferocity and stuff, but he has like 3,000 armor, and he can get infinite protection, and he has the spellbreaker block, and so it makes him a very beefy greatsword user. That uses might gen, like might healing, right? And my problem is, anytime I've ever used might healing, it seems like I always run into things that out DPS me, so I can't trade. I can't stand face to face and trade. I have to time my stuns to break bar them or something, and then you can still get overwhelmed. Now, and I've did full damage berserker builds and stuff like that, and this is the silver waste right now. I've run berserker builds and stuff in here. They work great. You kill stuff very, very quickly. It's all good. I do like those builds, but there's a few times where you'll run into a mob and you get CC'd for some reason and you just go down and you die because you're very squishy. This build is probably the most well-rounded build I've ever seen. Um, Now, there's also two things. I haven't got to test this yet because I literally just accidentally made this today. It basically this warrior, um, I max leveled him with a booster like a while back, and it gave him celestial armor. And I've been kind of tinkering with celestial armor just a little bit, but I never really messed with it much. And I decided to make him a knight, so he's got a great sword, shield, and I've used the celestial to kind of test build ideas, and you can see that he has a lot of different weapons and attachments and armors and that see this was part of the deal too is I have another warrior that has double sword that was using fury, um and this is one of my berserkers, so this is one of the berserkers that I was using great sword axe or great sword axe, and Ruin of Vampirism, so I could just run through, but this one had max damage. No healing, just all damage, and you were using the deaths to kill you. So it's basically just farming uh random mobs on the map, or like you go through a meta event and you're just kind of racing through a bunch of enemy mobs. That's kind of what the idea was on that. And this is just a spare berserker warrior that I haven't really messed with much, but I didn't like. It This guy is all like he has all the might healing going on, but it doesn't work super well, and I wasn't very up to it. But basically, what happened is the other warrior that I have with his 100% uh, protection, I wanted to test that out, and I ended up making. I was wanting to do a Condi build, so I was gonna do Condi, HP, maybe toughness or whatever, but I wanted some concentration so that I could get the boon time up the same as the protection, right? And then so I was looking at it and I was just like, screw it, I'll use this guy because it's a celestial. He has pretty much the same amount of concentration and stuff that the other warrior class that I had um, does. And then you can see right here that all of it's basically the same. But the thing is, I have Superior Ruin of the Tempest on here, mainly because I was testing something out like a month ago where you have Superior Ruin of the Tempest, and you have Resounding Resilience. So the Tempests can heal everyone around you for like 1,000 HP or something, and Rousing Resilience can heal you for like 2,800 right here. So you're basically getting 4,000 HP anytime that you break out of a stun, and you're getting 1,000 armor. Now, I don't have this trait right here selected, but if I did, that would boost my damage output after I break the stun. I'm keeping it safe with this right now. You can also go for lesser balanced stance. And this is what I was using a second ago because this was giving me a bunch of stability and vigor. Now, the vigor, because I got so much boon uptime, I could actually get so basically like these defy endure pains and stuff have a 60-second recharge. So I can get 8 seconds, 16 seconds, but it gives you 8.5. So you get 9 seconds here with 2 stances, right? 18 seconds with 2 stances, and then you would have 27 seconds. Well, yeah, 27.5 seconds of vigor with all these together. Now, 27.5 seconds, you can see will get you right about back to the Defiant stance. So if you pop Defiant stance and you pop Endure Pain, and then you use your Frenzy, and then this goes off, and then your second thing goes off, and then you got more vigor going in, and then Defiant stance would come back up, and you get another 8 seconds. So if it went 27 seconds, now you're setting around 30, 30 something, 38, 37, which Frenzy is right at 40 seconds. So you got a couple seconds there, and you pop your Frenzy, and you're setting at 38 something, and now you're going to like 40 something, and then you got a 60-second Endure Pain, whichever one of these went off first. So you're getting almost constant vigor. You're getting a bunch. So right here, 12 seconds of immunity, but you can get more immunity with lesser balanced stance. I just gave up 3 seconds so that I could get this ability because I wanted to test it. But this makes the build so versatile. Not to mention the Tempest Ruins, they give me bonuses to all stacks, so they help my celestial gear. And it's giving me condition duration 25%, which I already had condition duration on my armor. So you can see that I'm having 64%, 65% increased condition duration, and I'm getting about 40% boon upkeep time, which if I want to, there's a 10% boon increase sigil that you can have on your weapon that can get me to 50%. But right now, I don't see any reason to do that because everything seems to be working pretty good. Unless I wanted like infinite vigor, like 100% infinite vigor. If I did that, I would probably get it. Um, Now, what I can say about this build is that the condition duration isn't super like it's good, but like the damage isn't very great. And you can see we're only getting like 700 damage or something, right? But you can see that the bleeds and things are lasting quite a while. And sword is kind of a hybrid weapon, so I still got a good amount of damage, but all these bleeds are lasting quite a while. And then the ult has the really high damage bleed that gets done in 6 seconds. But the power of this is that you can keep this frenzy up almost constantly when you're fighting normal mobs, because we have heightened focus inside of here. And I'm going to be making a couple of adjustments to make this build even stronger, probably. Now, it all depends on how I figure out this right here, the strength, because right now I don't really need the dodge rolls. The extra might is good, but I don't need the extra might at the moment. With strength as your selected middle stat, you can get infinite stability with this build. Complete infinite stability. That's also why I got rid of lesser balanced stance, because I wasn't sure I was going to proc it if I was procking all the stability here. Now, all these other ones don't really matter, and I got rid of peak performance because it doesn't matter. I don't need the Condi cleanse from the other skill. I don't need the extra damage bonus. I'm not worried about it. And then I decided to go for Forceful Greatsword because we have that, and I'm going to test out the healing, but I got to figure out the difference here. Now, Cleansing Ire you could take if you were really, really bad in a Condi area, but you gotta realize right now, just like I was, on this build, originally my runes were going to increase the conditions. When I remove one condition, it was going to remove another one. And so I was going to use Brawler's Recovery to replace Shake It Off and get it off my bar. But I'm realizing that Shake It Off is probably one of the most valuable warrior skills that you have, especially with the setup that I'm going for right now. Now, what this does, though, is you're going to have quite a lot of sustain. Now, you also have the options to reflect if you need to reflect. You still have access, if we go to tactics, to decrease your weapon skill times and stuff. You could get some extra damage or weakness, but I haven't felt as tanky as this in the game with any class that I have. I have a pretty tanky hybrid damage warrior, and he doesn't come close to this at all. Now, I don't know which one heals better, but basically, this heightened focus is going to make it to where you can keep your everything going really fast. Warrior Sprint's going to allow you to move faster, which allows you to dodge circles and stuff a lot better. And then Brawler's Recovery, it's one condition every, 5 seconds, because it takes 5 seconds to swap my weapons. Now, in 20-second time span, that's still 4 conditions compared to 3 conditions from Shake It Off. So at this point, I basically have a Shake It Off, 2 more Shake It Offs, and then I got rid of the other Shake It Off. Now, this is the toss-up, because if I use the Might Gen, I'm only getting Might really on the Greatsword. I get some with the normal sword, but it's not a big deal. This Adrenal Health is healing me for a lot. And then the Dogged March is healing me for a lot in this area because they gave a lot of immobile and cripple. So those two skills together, I'm basically just regening so much they can't stop me. Then when they stun me, if I break out of it, I heal for 4,000. Okay, basically a small heal ability. I mean, it's over half of a mending, and there's no recharge on it, and it gives me a bunch of toughness, which makes me even harder to kill. And with this, I get hardened armor, so I gain resolution when you block or are struck by a critical hit, and then strike damage taken is reduced by a percentage while you have resolution. So I'm getting 10% reduced damage, and then incoming condition damage is decreased by 33%. And it's 7 seconds because I got so much boon duration on me. So I might be able to upkeep this, but you got to realize that this right here is reducing my condition damage and it's reducing my physical damage, but I also got a bunch of immunities. So it takes 7 seconds or so to get this to come back up to be ready to go again. It just so happens that one of these abilities can last about that long. So it'll come back up again. I'm basically upkeeping that pretty consistently. I'm upkeeping the adrenal health pretty consistently. Reduce damage while your health is above the threshold by 5%. That's happening pretty consistently. So I'm already getting this 5% and the 15% here. And then I don't know which heals more, but this right here heals for a decent bit. And then the other option is tactics. And when I'm going tactics, this right here is giving you might, which is good. Straight into soldier's focus because it's going to just give you more HP. Every 10 seconds, you'll get 1500 HP, which is pretty good. That basically means at 20 seconds, you're going to be getting a shake it off amount of healing. Now, you look when I got Vigorous Shouts equipped because it has a percentage of power, and Celestial has a decent amount of power on it. This bumped up to 1660 for the most part. So you're getting 2,000, 3,200, 3,300 just off that one. So that now in 10 seconds is healing almost for as much as a normal Shake It Off. So you can see that you're getting 2 burst heals, 2 burst heals, 5 burst heals in 20 seconds. And then this gives you healing power, which increases this. Well, maybe it doesn't increase that one. But this is the toss up here. But this also gives you 2 um 2 stun breaks here, stun break here, stun break here, stun break here, stun break there. So you're getting 2, 3, 4, 5 stun breaks. 3 of these have a 20-second recharge. And Rousing Resilience doesn't have a cooldown. So if you get stunned, you break out of it, and you get 4,000 HP. And you get stunned, and you break out of it, and you get 4,000 HP. And then you get stunned, and you break out of it, and you get 4,000 HP. And then you get stunned, and you break out of it, and you get 4,000 HP. And then you get stunned again, and you break out of it, and you get 4,000 HP. You know, as well as the immunity on top of that. And then you get smacked again, and you still got Defiant Stance, which is going to heal you all the way back up. And then your cooldowns are off, and you're back to the races again. Now, you might be thinking this build doesn't do a lot of damage. But here's the thing, okay? It's moderate damage on both weapons. But the fact that you can swap weapons so quickly is what makes this work. Because we are upkeeping Fury. Okay, let's look at our weapon, like our stats real quick, right? So I have quite a few warriors, and my really strong, most powerful warriors, around 3,000 power maybe, something like that. 70, 80% crit chance. 224 to 300% ferocity on a lot of those. Maxed out damage. So you can see, I mean, we got about half as much power. The crit chance is going to end up being about 55%, which is fine for me. In Guild Wars 1, that was fine for a lot of people in that game as well. And then your critical damage is still 200%. So, I mean, we're getting a 50% crit chance and 200% damage increase with about half as much power. But where this comes in is that quickness, 50% increased attack speed. Like, you're attacking more which means that even though you got 50% critical strike chance, you're hitting twice as often or however much faster as often, which I'm basically taking as extra crit chance. It's more hits in the same amount of time, which gives me more opportunity to hit the crits, but also my sword holds them down. You can do the flurry in a millisecond. Like, it's so fast. And then you swap over and you can finish the 100 blades together. Now, 100 blades, I can't remember what it did exactly. I know like whirling axes and stuff can do like 20k or something, and I know people get like 70, 80k on their stuff. I'm gonna say this is probably like 4 or 5,000 damage a hit or whatever on a big build. I don't really know exactly, but it's the fact that when you play those damage classes, I'm never able to stand toe to toe with somebody and actually fight them. And so I can't get off my full burst combo all the time if I'm a solo player. And my healing was never enough to keep me alive when I was being a solo player. And this isn't just 100 blades, it's 100 blades and flurry together. So you're getting the 1200 times 9 plus the 3600 bleed, and then you're swapping over to this. So you're getting a 3600 bleed plus the damage from this. Now on top of this, we're going to be making this build even better, because you can see right here we have equipped all, like, recharge all equipped skills by 2 seconds upon killing an enemy. That's something that was left from me testing. I was trying to make a build where shield stance would recharge super quickly, and you could get it down to like 7 seconds. Now, that requires you to hit all of your burst skills, okay? And then when you hit your burst skill, shield stance will then, was it this one? Yeah. So you can get 3 seconds down here, which will decrease your shield stance by 3 seconds. And then when you kill something, you get 2 seconds. And if you hit and kill all those on a recharge, then you can get shield stance down to 7 seconds recharge. And that right there is a pretty darn powerful, I would think. Now, the other thing that I would say is that, so we got this right here, which disables quickness. And then we were going to put another quickness rune on the greatsword, but I haven't really seen that I've needed to use that yet. However, I haven't fought super serious bosses, so I don't know if I need that. I would assume that I would, because I'm getting 8 seconds of quickness here, 5 seconds of quickness over here, and then 7 seconds if I get them below HP value. So what is that, 20 seconds altogether? So if you do that and you get them below 50 HP, you now have infinite quickness. So you hit them with your burst, hit them with your burst, hit them with the burst, and then when they get underneath 50 HP, you can now hit them infinitely. This is also where if you want to set the build up to be even tankier when they get them below 50 HP, or if they don't have a cripple, you can go for Call of the Weak. And as you can see, the duration is increased as well to 8 seconds with a 5-second cooldown. So you're going to be able to have constant weakness that's just going to keep stacking and keep stacking and keep stacking. So that means when you back away and that weakness is still on them, if they have a ranged attack or something, they're still going to have that weakness on them, which is going to keep them down. And then on top of this, what was I saying? I completely spaced. But Essentially, if you don't need this super massive regen heal, which you can see that when you get hit, it gives you 8 seconds of regen with 20 or 2000 HP heal and a 10-second recharge, which means if you're getting hit by this ability, you're getting another shout heal over time. That's crazy. You look over here, 15 seconds. You're getting 2,254 heal per adrenaline bar over 15 seconds. Hey Google, what's 2,254 divided by 15?
2,254 divided by 15 is approximately 150.27.
So 150 a second, okay, times 3, okay. So you're getting like 450 HP a second here. And then this right here was a 200 HP a second. That's a lot of healing, okay, for a non-spellbreaker core warrior build. Oh god, that's crazy. Now, how does this get better, you might ask? Well, sirs, we have concentration and boon duration. Now, if I decided to get rid of the superior sigil of frenzy or one of these might runes, I can put on a sigil of luck. And if I get a sigil of luck, anytime that I kill an enemy and with no cooldown, I get a random boon. And let me show y'all fellas why this thing needs to be worth a lot more than 2 silver on the flea market. 75% chance to gain a random boon upon killing an enemy. Now, if you're in the thick of some enemies, you can be killing these guys like crazy. This sigil has no cooldown. This sigil will not activate on inanimate creatures. Using 2 doesn't give you the same boons, okay? Now, the distribution of the boons is unknown. The list of possible boons is as follows. Aegeus, so you're going to be able to get a block, and it lasts 10 seconds, and that's base duration. So I'm getting 40%, I could get 50% increased duration, so that is now 14 to 15 seconds of Aegeus. And you think that I'm going to be able to take a hit in that time? You think it's going to block something important? Probably, you know? It's not a huge big deal. All right. Fury. I don't really need Fury, but it's okay. I mean, if I don't get a burst off with my great sword, or I don't get my signet off, or maybe I'm running banner, or maybe I'm running some other light that happens to come out, that's really good. Also, on top of this, that new profession or the new spec is coming out, so that thing's gonna be really good. That 10% increased heal. If I'm doing enough damage, that could be good, depending. Might. So a random might stack for 15 seconds. I'm getting another 40% of this, so it's going to be a little bit over 20 seconds on one stack of might. So that could stick around for a while. That's not necessarily important, but I mean, that is something. And then if I'm using might healing, because as soon as I figure out which one of those heals is better, because even, all right, listen to me for a second. Even if I use the might healing instead of the shout heals, I'm still getting 3,000, 4,000 HP for using it as a stun break. Okay? Yeah. And it removes conditions. Now, protection, 3 seconds. This isn't really super important, but I do like me some protection. And I will tell you that my other warrior had, I think it was 3 seconds protection on Spellbreaker. And he had 50% increased boon duration, and so he could do that every 8 seconds. Um, and had two sources of like 3 to 5 second protection, so he was able to constantly keep up protection using two different abilities, and that's pretty darn good. Me just getting protection randomly in the middle of a fight could be very helpful. Me killing multiple people and getting multiple stacks of protection in a fight could be very helpful. This also means that you don't necessarily need a team because I have my team in my back pocket. I have the people to give me boons. I have the people to give me heals. I have the people to give me condition removal. I have the things to give me um, condition damage and weapon damage. This is something that I had a problem with when I had a power build. I ran into a couple of mobs that had a really serious regen that I didn't have enough defense to fight them with to like wear them down, and they had a little bit too much regen that I could not kill them with my regular physical damage. This build doesn't have that problem because I can smack them with bleeds and then smack them with the great sword, which overcomes their regeneration, and I can do that every couple seconds. Now, regeneration, 5 seconds. You already seen how powerful the regeneration is, and that one was lasting. What was it? 10 seconds, 8 seconds, something like that. This is half of that duration, but probably a similar heal. So probably still 200 HP a second right here. That's 1,000 HP. Resolution for 5 seconds. Okay, you already saw that we get a damage buff, like a damage reduction when we got resolution. Plus, this gives us reduced condition damage, and it's for 5 seconds. So we're getting another 2 seconds on top of this. So that's going to be another like 7 seconds. And then you saw the recharge on the ability. It's 15 seconds, but it lasts 7 seconds. So if I get resolution and I use this resolution, I'm getting 14 seconds of resolution and 10% damage reduction. So it's going to keep going. And if I kill multiple creatures, I could get multiple stacks of resolution, and it can just keep. So the more people I fight, the better. Okay? The more, the better. All right. Stability 2 seconds. I don't necessarily need that because I have the ability to get infinite stability. But if I run shout heals, if I decide to do that, that also something I could use to support my teammates if I wanted to do that, like give them a little bit of extra heal and condi cleanse. Um, this stability could work very well with that balanced stance because that balanced stance gives me stability, but it's very short duration. And then the other stances I have don't really give me stability, but this gives me another option to gain some stability. And it might go up to 3 seconds. I don't really know, but if I kill multiple enemies, I could get multiple stacks of stability. Plus, I kind of like the gambleness of it. Swiftness. Now, this might be something that you're not really thinking about, but I have Warrior's Sprint, which helps me move around and all that, but I get a bonus damage when I have Swiftness. But the only source of Swiftness that I have is my ultimate. So, me getting extra Swiftness from a kill, you might be thinking it's kind of meaningless, but it's making me faster, which lets me move and dodge stuff quicker, and it's going to give me a damage buff. So, win-win. Vigor, 5 seconds. Plus, that swiftness is going to be, what, like 7 seconds? So that's a pretty decent little swiftness buff. Vigor, 5 seconds. So it's going to be about 7 seconds. Um, and you know that that right there is going to be giving me more regen, which I need to dodge. And now, if I use that with this, you can see that I could easily get infinite dodges. So that is the build at the moment. There's a lot of detail in this, but you got to see that I can get might from here. I can get might off my greatsword. Um, we got to figure out if the healing is better. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. But the main thing is that I was more Condi focused originally. I was like, I don't even need Fury, so screw Fury. I don't care about these Fury stats. Um, and then I still had good crit chance because I forgot I was in Celestials, but I can get Fury off of my Greatsword, and it goes up to 22 seconds, so that's going to be plenty. And then this, I get 35 seconds. That's going to be plenty. You know, I get 35-second buff because all my durations are better. Okay? Now, you get all this going. You're getting 5 adrenaline on weapon swaps, so you don't necessarily have to hit all your abilities. We're going to get increased movement speed, which is going to help us deal with enemies. Or we could go with Vengeance and get a 100% chance to rally if you're really like in the thick. Like say you're like really, really, really in the thick of a fight, okay? Like you're going to fight 1,000 people. There's a possibility that one of those people is very hurt, and then you could, vengeance up and kill one and fight them and be good, and then maybe go down again and you fight them and you're good, because you can see endurance gain 100%, health 25%. So I mean, you're going to be able to dodge, possibly get off a defiant stance, and boom. So if I'm in a really bad situation, I can go vengeful return. Now, weapon swaps faster. I get condition off. We already saw this is going to be 4 conditions over 20 seconds. So that's going to be quite a bit. Gain might on weapon swap and burst skills gain reduced recharge, which you can see that they're about 6 seconds, and we have 5-second swaps, so we can keep that going quite a bit. And now we just got to figure out this. So let's think about this for a little bit. Um, how to judge this, because this healing power increases everything. The region, the adrenal health by like 100. This by like 100. Oh, plus it reduces the recharge of the shouts, which gives us more stun breaks and more Condi cleanse. I mean, it's 5 seconds, but that's still 5 seconds. Soldier focus. Plus it affects allies, which means if I get 2 or 3 warriors with the same build, geez, like we're gonna no Condi is gonna touch us. I mean that means I could bring a banner or deal increased damage per boon. If it was per on me, I'd be all over it. Okay. I don't really know how to do this. So this does 1500, and that goes up. So everything goes up about 100, but you got to see, like, we're gonna do this on a 20-second clock. So we get 4,000, 5,000, and then we're gonna do 5,100, 5,000. Well, that's 100 a second. So it's 15 seconds. So let's go 6,600. 6,700. This one, I can't really tell you because it's just spammable depending on how many times you get stunned or not stunned. So 6,700. And then if we go strength, we get infinite stability. So if you get knocked down a whole lot and you need more stability for some reason, that could be a good option. And then it depends on how fast you attack. So might gives us more power. We can get more might per auto, but it's only going to be however much might. With our greatsword, we can get 3. With our normal sword, it just kind of depends. So let's say if you get 3 every second, but then you're attacking faster, so you might get 1. 3 every second over 20 seconds, let's say, and you can hit 3 targets. Ugh, but I don't think the sigils proc like that, so it'd be 3 targets a second, let's say. So let's do 5 stacks a second on the high end. Plus we have these, but they have really long cooldowns, so it's not going to be super viable. We can do this every 4 seconds. So 2 every 4 seconds. So let's just go to 7. Well, that's really it besides dodge rolling. We could get 5. So that's, I mean, that's still going to take a second for you to do that. So it's still going to be about 5 a second. Okay. So we looked at all that. So 5 a second. Well, the extra power would be nice. So 5 a second. I mean, endurance gain would be good, but we can get vigor. 5 a second is only 500. Oh God, like 700, 700 and something HP a second. I don't feel like. Hey Google, what's 700 times 20?
700 times 20 is 14,000.
14,000. Hold up. Give me a second here. We gotta test some stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this. So I got 5. That's 3. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. I really don't know. Like, okay, so we get power, we get infinite stability. If we're stable, we can't get knocked down, which kind of ruins resilience. We get the dodge roll. What are we losing here again? Condi cleanse. Soldier's focus. $6,000. 8,000. 9,200. This is more passive though. I mean, you can use shout hills whenever you want. Might, you can't really do that. Now, I'm not going to say that it's the fastest in the world, but I'm going to say it's a fairly solid little thing going on here. See, this isn't even with Might Hill, so I probably need to get a Might Hill. But you can see it's the most like, it feels so good. Like you feel tanky. You're able to just stand if you want. Um, and you got good damage. It's very soft. Why did that heal me? I got healed when I used the Signet. I don't understand. Alright, oh, hold up. Let me go strength. Might heal stability. I mean, and then, oh, this is the hardest thing to fight too, geez. Oh, dodge. Dodge it. Come on. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that we can handle this boy. This is probably one of the hardest fights on this map. And there is the possibility that we get one shot, but it just doesn't seem super likely to me. Oh, I wasted my big heal. Come on, get a piece, big boy. Oh, is that lag? I am the tank, my guy. I am the warrior. What is that, 12,000? I ain't gonna say it's the best, but it's not terrible. What's my bleed doing right now? Wait a second. Bleed's doing 2,000? What'd that say? That say 4,000 bleed? You're welcome to try, my guy. He is throwing a lot of his like really annoying stuff out there though. So now he's gone under 50% HP. His ass is mine. So you can see, I mean, we got regeneration, we got quickness, we still got all of our immunities if we want them. What? Hold up, what is my armor right now? Yeah, I mean, it's not super impressive, but I mean, oh, my might, okay, my might stacks are down. Okay, so we're back up at 25. So we got 2,800. Um, oh, did he remove my boons? Somebody removed my boons. If I had a banner right now, I could revive them and it wouldn't even bother me. Ooh, that one's not good. And I can focus purely on damage if I want to. And that, my people, is the Ultimate Warrior build. Thank you for watching. Give it a try. Probably going to be the best thing ever for PvE, alright? That's all I'm saying. Join my guild. We're Romans, but, you know, I might have to make a night division, alright?